Hey guys, welcome to the first video on my channel. This channel will primarily be coding based, so if you have any coding projects, uh, please comment down below. Um, so in this video, we are going to be scraping data from Yahoo Finance to get information on any stock. So if we let me set my path right here. There we go. And run this code. It will ask us for a ticker. There we go. Let's put in Apple, and we will get the earnings data for Apple. So whether they beat or missed earnings in the last 4 quarters. So here it says they beat earnings in the last 4 quarters. Now this is not the only data you can scrape from Yahoo Finance. You can get prices, volume, but this tutorial should give you a basic idea on how to scrape information, so then you can scrape the rest of the information by yourself. So what exactly are we going to do? So if we just go to Yahoo Finance, here, let me just close this, go to Yahoo Finance, and just press on the first link right here. Be brought to the Yahoo Finance page. And if we type in something like Apple, we get brought to the Apple page. So if you right click on the price, the HTML code for this URL will show up, and you can find right here the price of the stock, which updates in real time. And basically what web scraping is we are connecting to this HTML code and extracting this data. So we are specifically going to be extracting data from this analysis page right here, and we can get earnings estimates, revenue estimates, earnings history, earnings per share trends, revisions, growth estimates. And if you can get data from any of these right here, but we are just going to do analysis because we are going to get the earnings history right here to see whether or not they beat earnings here, 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 and here. And as you can see, they did beat earnings all in the last 4 quarters, so software is accurate. Now you are going to need a couple things before we start here. You're going to need Python installed on your machine. So if you're on Windows, you can press the Windows key and type in store and go to the Microsoft Store. Then go to search and type in Python 3.8. Should pop up. And there we go. I have it installed already, but you should just be able to install it right here. If you're on a Mac or on Linux, you can just go to the internet and type in Microsoft Store. And just go to Microsoft and search for Python 3.8 from here. And install it right here. So once you have that done, you're going to install 2 libraries. We're going to be using Beautiful Soup and Requests. So to install these, go to the terminal in your IDE and type in pip install bs4. And then for requests, type in pip install requests. And I already have these installed, but for you, they might take a bit longer. Get rid of that. If for some reason your IDE doesn't have a terminal, you can do the same thing in the command prompt. by pressing the Windows key and typing cmd, and then typing the same thing, pip install bs4, and the same thing for requests. But once that's done, you want to make sure that your IDE supports Python. So for Visual Studio Code, you have to install the Python extension right here. So I already have it installed, but if you go to search extensions right here and type in Python, it will be the first one right there. So that, I know that was a lot for the setup, but now we can actually get started coding. Okay, so I'm gonna open up a new file, new Python file, and I have this file stored in a folder called web scraper. So I'm gonna set my path to that folder by typing cd OneDrive /desktop /web scraper. There we go. And now we're all set to get coding. So we're going to import these two libraries by typing from bs4 import beautiful soup, and then from url library.request import, we're going to import something called url open, and we're going to import it as rec or request. Now that that's done, we're going to create a new variable called symbol underscore input and set that equal to the input of the user. So input, and then input stock ticker symbol. And basically, this is what the user will see when the code is run, and their response will get stored in this variable. So if we run this right now and type python web scraper.py, you can see it right here. If we type in apple, this apple is stored in this symbol input. So what are we going to do with this? If you haven't noticed already, when we go to Yahoo Finance, the ticker symbol is embedded in the URL. So we can pretty much copy this URL, create a new variable called URL, and set it equal to this URL. But instead of apple right here, we're going to set it to symbol input and do the same thing right here. There we go. So now we're going to connect to this URL using the rec function, or the URL open. So we're going to do this we'll just create a variable called HTML, or actually client, name this client, and set this equal to rec, which is up here, URL open, and we want to connect to a URL. Now we're going to get the HTML from the website. So we'll create a variable called HTML and set that equal to client.read. And this will pretty much read the HTML from this URL. Finally, we're going to create a variable called soup, and we are going to use a function from beautiful soup called beautiful soup, which takes in a markup and all the stuff. So we're going to give it the code that we want it to parse or analyze. So we want it to analyze this HTML code, so we're going to type in HTML, and then we want it to know to parse HTML code, so we're going to write html.parser. So this concludes this first video. In the next video, we will extract all the data from this HTML using all the beautiful soup functions, and hope you stick around.